welcome back to my channel and another video here. What was that? Why did I do that? Today I don't have a Topic Tuesday necessarily for you, but a follow-up to an old Topic Tuesday. So last year I set 3 nail polish goals for myself. I actually think it was like the first ever Topic Tuesday I did on my channel. I'm one of those types of people who lives their life based on goals and lists, and like I constantly have to be checking things off or I just feel like I'm losing it. So I love to set goals for myself, and apparently I do that with my hobbies as well. It's just the type of person I am. I love having things to actively be working on all the time. I guess it makes me feel like I'm in a video game or something. I just like to cross things off a list. It makes me feel good. And with this, it's no different. And so, like I said, last year I had set 3 major goals that I wanted to accomplish throughout 2021. And I just want to kind of revisit that and see how I did for each goal. Did I accomplish it? You know, how did I do that? And then I will probably do a follow-up at the beginning of January, just setting some new goals. Also, at the time of filming this, let me just check on my cool new flip phone. I have 995 subscribers right now. So I'm almost to 1,000, which was not a goal that I set at the beginning of this year, because I didn't ever think I would get this far. But it kind of became a goal partway through the year, and I realized, like, wow, I'm actually doing all right. And so hopefully, I think it's December 16th right now, but maybe by the end of the year, I will hit that 1,000 mark. And I just want to say, you know, I really appreciate you guys sticking with me and commenting and always chatting with me and reaching out to me on Instagram and stuff like that. I don't know, it's just really, like, last year was really rough, and it turned 2021 into just a lot better of a year. I felt like I just had a bigger support system and a lot more people to talk to and just enjoy life with. So thank you guys so much for sticking around. Okay, so the first goal that I set for myself was to wear as many untrieds in my collection as possible. Now, the reason I had set this goal was because my collection kind of exploded right before I set this goal, and I just was like, oh my gosh, I have so much new stuff. And so I was like, well, before that, I had worn pretty much everything that I had in my collection, maybe a few untrieds here or there, but nothing too excessive. And then suddenly that was right when I bought somebody else's collection, and then it just never stopped exploding. It was just like buying that person's collection was just a gateway into buying nail polish constantly. So like I said, today it's December 16th. Out of the 165 nail polishes I have worn this year up to this point, 138 of those were untried. So that's about almost 84% of the nail polishes that I wore in 2021 were untried. So I think it's safe to say I accomplished that goal. The way that I went about this was, well, I paint my nails minimum twice a week for the most part. And I even started painting my toes a little bit more. I don't usually do that because I just don't. I have like really long toes. They're freaky, you know? Like, nobody wants to look at that, so why paint them? My dad said my toes look like Cheetos because they're so long. So yeah, who wants to look at painted Cheetos? Not me. But I did start painting them a little bit more, and so that kind of added to the final count. So with this goal, I really enjoyed the fact that I was always wearing something new. Everything was always new, even when it wasn't new. You know, it was new to me. It was new to my nails for the very first time. And that was really enjoyable. The only time I ever really re-wore anything was if I was using something as a base for like a topper. So I relied like on pretty much the same black and white every time. I either used like this black that I have by Orly, whose name I forgot, or I used One Coat Black from Holo Taco. And then for the white, I used Not Milky White by Holo Taco. And because I have 2 of those, I have the old formula and the new formula. and I'm trying to run out the old formula so I can just be done with it. I don't want to just throw it out. But yeah, those were pretty much the only polishes you really see repeating on my worn this year. And then there was just a couple that I used in nail arts and stuff like that, that I just didn't have anything on the new side that were those colors that I needed. The only issue with this particular goal was that I felt a little bit restricted. If you're someone who doesn't have nearly as many untrieds as me, you will feel incredibly restricted, I think, because for me, like, there was a couple times where I just wanted to put on an old favorite, like something about Essie's Chinchilli. Like, that is just one of my favorite kind of neutral tones to wear. I think it's such a pretty polish. I wanted to put it on a couple times, but I kept telling myself, no, you're not allowed. You've worn that polish a million times. You need to put on something you've never worn before. And then you know what I would do? I would go through all my untrieds and I'd try to find something that looked similar to Essie's Chinchilli. And it's like, why didn't I just wear Essie's Chinchilli? If I really wanted to wear it that bad, I should have just let myself. And so what I've learned from that experience is, yeah, I should focus on the things I haven't worn in my collection. But if I want to revisit an old favorite, if I want to wear something that I've worn a million times, just do it. You know, like, they're all going to be there at the end of the day. And it's about what I want to wear. I shouldn't force myself to wear colors that I just don't really feel like wearing right now, because otherwise it's going to suck the fun out of the whole hobby, right? Oh yeah, and I guess I probably should have said at the top of the video, but that's one thing I also like to do with goals, is I like to assess like every minute detail about it. So I like to talk about like how I achieved the goal, like the positives of achieving that goal, the negatives, and what I learned. I don't know, it's like, maybe it's kind of lame, but I just feel like it really helps me get through life, you know? So the second goal I had was to wear a more diverse range of colors. When I had looked at my 2020 color spread, I noticed I only wore like pink, blue, and purple for the most part. That was like the majority of the pie chart of colors that I wore. And so the way that I decided to tackle this goal initially was I was going to wear colors on a cycle, like a Roy G. Biv cycle. I'd wear a red, then an orange, then a yellow, and so on and so forth, until I got all the way to the end of the color cycle. And then I would go right back to red, orange, yellow, green, etc., etc. I managed to follow this pattern until the end of March. So I got through 3 months of this cycle before I was just like, we're done. No, I can't do this anymore. The reason was because if I wanted to wear colors for a specific occasion or a specific holiday or something like that, you know, depending on where I was in the cycle, it was impossible, you know? And I was like, oh, I don't want to break the cycle, so I can't do that. And it just ended up being not fun pretty fast. Although it did make my Instagram look cool for like 2 seconds, because all you saw was like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, etc., and until I broke the cycle, and then I was just like, I'm wearing whatever I want. So I ended up stopping that goal, or not, I didn't stop the goal, but I stopped the cycle process in March, and I decided, let me just try to keep an eye on what I'm wearing. And if I start to see that I'm going really heavy towards one color, I'll try to mix it up here and there. Even that kind of fell off. I just kind of didn't really pay too much attention to it. So surprisingly, I don't think that I did too crazy bad. I mean, I'm looking at my shades worn for 2021, and out of the 165 that I wore, there were 26 blues, which is the highest. Then after that is 22 greens. But then after that, everything is in kind of like the 10s to teens, or colors that I have fewer of. Like, I don't have as many browns. I don't have as many golds and silvers and stuff like that. Those are around like 6 to 8 wears. And so what I realized when I looked at this chart was this kind of is reflective of the proportion of colors in my collection. So it actually makes more sense to me in that way. And the other thing, I know this sounds like a cop-out, but the other thing is, the main reason that I set that goal was because I wanted more diversity in color for my Instagram. But since I've been doing more YouTube and doing more swatch videos and just having a lot more of those swatches on hand ready to go, I'm able to kind of mix up the order that I post them in anyways, and like hold some for later, or, keep one in my back pocket for when I just haven't painted my nails in a while. So the goal itself almost became obsolete because I just took care of it in a different way. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that I blew this goal out of the water, but I did wear proportional to what is in my collection, and I kind of found a new way around it. And I realized as well that the goal didn't necessarily matter to me so much throughout the year. The first goal it did. I really do want to wear more of my untrieds, get them swatched, get like the full hand swatch photos and stuff like that. And that still matters to me now, and it's something I want to continue doing in the next year. But as far as like color distribution of what I wear, I realized I didn't care about that as much as I thought I did. And I only realized that when I started having more content on the ready for my Instagram, that I could mix that up however I wanted, that in my real life, I don't care if I wear 3 reds in a row or what have you, or I don't wear a gold for 6 months, So I did learn a valuable lesson there. I learned a lesson at least. Okay, and then my final goal was to purchase more indie and boutique polishes in the year 2021. And I gotta say, I think that I did pretty well with this goal. Now, the reason I set this goal was because I had always wanted to sample more indies and boutique brands, but I never did because of price, and I was nervous because I'm like, I've never really had any experience with this brand, and I'm worried that I'm gonna hate it, and then I just spent like $13 on a nail polish that I don't like, and blah, 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 blah. And so even for a good chunk, maybe like the first quarter or so of 2021, I was still really only buying mainstreams, China Glaze, Orly, etc. And then, I don't know, something just kind of clicked in at the end of spring, early summer. I just started purchasing more indies. I started looking into boutiques more. When I think about the stuff that I've purchased in the last half of this year, aside from the China Glaze Halloween collection, the Orly Color Pass that I am subscribed to, and I think some color clubs and some miscellaneous stuff here and there, most of the stuff that I've been buying is pretty indie focused, indie heavy. And I went into my spreadsheet and I filtered out all of the purchases from previous years so that you can only see what I bought in 2021. And I counted up all the indies and boutiques together, and then I counted up all the mainstreams, and it was almost right down the middle, 50% mainstream, 50% indie, which when before I was really only buying 0 indies ever, except for the very rare occasion. I would say half of my purchases being indie is far greater than any other year. And I imagine that next year it's probably going to be a higher percentage than that, just because that's just where I'm at with my collection right now. That's what I'm interested in. Hopefully I see some more interesting collections from the mainstreams too, because I do like to do swatch and reviews of those. But, it's just kind of, I achieved the goal and my interest changed, and that's where I'm at. In fact, I actually have to kind of actively look up now and see what the mainstream polish brands are doing, because I'm not as in the loop on it as I should be. Actually, I found out OPI is releasing an Xbox themed collection for spring, and it is not at all the types of colors that I would associate with Xbox, and B, a little weird for OPI. That's something I would kind of expect from maybe China Glaze, but not OPI. But I don't know, some of the names were fun, but I'm not going to pick any of it up. The colors just are not for me. Anyways, that's going to be it from me. Let me know down below if you guys had any goals for the year that were nail related or just life related that you ended up achieving. I would love to hear about that. And then let me know if you would like to see me do a nail goal setting video for next year, and I will do this all again. That's it from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.